Welcome to QuickSpeak, the English podcast where we talk about different topics. And today, we are talking about building those lasting and fulfilling relationships.
Yeah.
It's something we all want, but it can be challenging, right?
It really is.
To create them and maintain them.
It is. It's fascinating to me how much emphasis our society places on these romantic relationships.
Yeah.
Yet we often receive very little guidance on how to actually make them work.
Right.
It's like we're expected to just figure it out.
Exactly. We're told to find the one, but then what?
Exactly.
Right. What happens after that? So today, let's explore what comes after that initial spark, how to build something that really stands the test of time.
Well, I think it starts with understanding that lasting love isn't just about finding the right person, it's about becoming the right people together.
Okay.
And that requires building a solid foundation based on trust, respect, and communication.
Okay, so let's break that down.
Yeah.
When we talk about trust, what does that really look like in a relationship? It feels like a word we throw around a lot,
Yeah.
but what are the concrete actions that build trust?
Trust is about feeling safe and secure with your partner, knowing that they're reliable, honest, and have your best interests at heart.
Right.
It's about believing that they'll be there for you, both emotionally and practically, even when things get tough.
So it's not just about the grand gestures.
No.
It's about those consistently showing up for each other, those everyday moments.
Absolutely. It's about keeping promises, big or small. It's about being honest even when it's difficult. It's about prioritizing each other's well-being and making choices that demonstrate your commitment to the relationship.
So it sounds like building trust is an ongoing process, a series of actions that add up over time.
Exactly. Think of it like a bank account.
Okay.
Every time you keep a promise, show empathy, or choose to prioritize your partner, you're making a deposit.
Right.
And over time, those deposits build a strong foundation of trust and security.
That's such a helpful analogy.
Yeah.
It really makes it clear that trust isn't something you just find, it's something you actively cultivate.
Absolutely. And just like with a bank account, withdrawals can happen too, right?
Right.
Betrayals, broken promises, inconsistencies, those can chip away at the trust you've built.
Yeah.
Repairing trust requires acknowledging the hurt, taking responsibility, and then consistently demonstrating through your actions that you can be trusted again.
Makes sense. But let's move on to the next pillar, respect.
Okay.
How does that play into building a strong, healthy relationship?
Well, respect is about valuing your partner for who they are as an individual, separate from you. It's about recognizing and appreciating their thoughts, their feelings, their opinions, and dreams, even if they differ from your own.
So it's about honoring their individuality, even if you don't necessarily share all the same interests or perspectives.
Precisely. Respect means creating space for your partner to be themselves without judgment or pressure to conform. It's about supporting their growth, even if it takes them on a path that's different from your own.
I can see how that ties into trust as well. Like when you feel respected by your partner, you're more likely to feel safe opening up.
Absolutely.
And sharing your true self, knowing that you won't be ridiculed or dismissed.
Exactly. Respect creates a safe space for vulnerability, which is essential for deep connection.
Right.
It also means respecting boundaries. Everyone has their own limits and needs, and a respectful partner acknowledges and honors those, even if they don't fully understand them.
Makes sense. And of course, we can't forget about communication.
Yeah.
It feels like that's always at the top of the list when we talk about relationships.
For good reason. Open, honest, and empathetic communication is the lifeblood of any healthy relationship. It's the bridge that connects two individuals, allowing them to understand each other, share their inner world, and navigate challenges together.
I think a lot of people struggle with communicating effectively, especially when emotions run high.
Yeah.
Do you have any tips for how to improve communication skills in a relationship?
Well, one of the most important things is to become a better listener.
Okay.
And I don't just mean passively hearing the words your partner is saying. It's about truly listening with the intent to understand.
So it's about putting aside your own thoughts and judgments for a moment and really tuning in to what your partner is trying to convey.
Exactly. It's about paying attention to their body language, their tone of voice, the emotions behind their words. It's about asking clarifying questions and reflecting back what you hear to ensure you're understanding their perspective.
That sounds like a real skill.
It is.
Something that requires practice and conscious effort.
Definitely. But the rewards are worth it. When you feel truly heard and understood by your partner, it deepens your connection and creates a sense of safety and trust.
And what about when it's your turn to speak?
Yeah.
Are there any tips for expressing yourself effectively especially when dealing with difficult emotions?
One technique that can be incredibly helpful is to use I statements. It's a way of expressing your feelings without blaming or attacking your partner.
Can you give an example of how that works in practice?
Sure, let's say you're feeling hurt because your partner forgot an important date.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of saying, "You always forget about me, you don't care,"
Yeah.
which can feel accusatory.
Right.
You could say, "I felt really hurt and unimportant when you forgot about our date."
I see the difference.
Yeah,
The first statement puts your partner on the defensive, while the second focuses on your own feelings and experience.
exactly. I statements keep the focus on your own needs and emotions, which makes it more likely that your partner will listen and respond with empathy rather than defensiveness.
That's such a valuable tool.
Mm-hmm.
It's about taking ownership of your own emotions and expressing them in a way that invites connection rather than conflict.
You've got it. Communication is a dance, and it takes practice to learn the steps.
Yeah.
But with conscious effort and a willingness to grow together, you can create a communication style that fosters understanding, intimacy, and mutual respect.
This is all so insightful, but I think it's important to acknowledge that even with the best communication, conflict is bound to happen in any relationship.
Oh, absolutely.
It's just a natural part of being two separate individuals with different perspectives and needs.
You're absolutely right. Conflict is inevitable. It's how we choose to approach and navigate those disagreements that determines whether they damage the relationship or become opportunities for growth.
So it's not about avoiding conflict altogether.
No.
It's about learning to manage it effectively.
Exactly. Many couples fear conflict, seeing it as a sign of incompatibility or a threat to the relationship.
Yeah.
But conflict, when approached constructively, can actually strengthen the bond between two people.
That sounds counterintuitive. How can arguing actually make a relationship stronger?
Well, it's not about arguing. It's about mindful conflict resolution. It's
Yeah.
about approaching disagreements with a willingness to understand your partner's perspective,
Yeah.
even if you don't agree with it. It's about expressing your own needs and feelings clearly and respectfully without resorting to blame or attacks.
So it's about shifting the focus from winning the argument to finding a solution that works for both partners.
Precisely. And that requires active listening, empathy, and a willingness to compromise. It's about remembering that you're on the same team even when you disagree.
That's such a powerful reminder. It's easy to forget that when you're in the heat of the moment.
It definitely is, but that's why it's so important to have tools and strategies for navigating conflict effectively.
Right.
One of the most helpful things is to learn to regulate your own emotions before things escalate.
So it's about taking a pause before you react.
Exactly. When we're flooded with emotions, our ability to think clearly and rationally goes out the window.
Yeah.
Taking a few moments to calm down, take some deep breaths, or even step away from the situation can make a world of difference.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It's about creating space to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively.
Absolutely. And when you do come back to the conversation, remember to focus on the issue at hand rather than bringing up past hurts or attacking your partner's character.
So it's about staying present and focused on finding a solution.
Exactly. Mindful conflict resolution is about treating each other with respect, even when you disagree. It's about remembering that you're both on the same team working towards the same goal. A healthy, happy, and fulfilling relationship.
This has been incredibly helpful. We've covered a lot of ground, from the foundations of trust and respect to the art of communication and navigating conflict constructively.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm already gaining a deeper understanding of what it takes to build a strong and lasting relationship.
It's been a pleasure discussing these important concepts with you.
Yeah.
Remember, building a fulfilling relationship is a journey, not a destination.
Right.
It requires ongoing effort, communication, and a shared commitment to growth, but the rewards are immeasurable.
We've talked a lot about the foundational elements of a strong relationship, trust, respect, communication, and how to handle conflict constructively.
Yeah.
But I'm curious, how do we maintain our individuality
Yeah.
while also nurturing a deep connection with our partner?
Yeah.
It feels like there's this delicate balance to strike.
That's a fantastic question, and one that many couples grapple with. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that a strong relationship means becoming completely enmeshed with your partner,
Right.
losing sight of your own identity in the process.
Yes, exactly. It's like that idea of two halves becoming a whole. But then you start to wonder, where do I fit in all of this?
The truth is, a healthy relationship isn't about losing yourself. It's about two whole individuals choosing to come together, bringing their unique selves to the partnership.
Yeah.
Maintaining your individuality isn't selfish, it's essential for both your own well-being and the health of the relationship.
So how do we actually do that? How do we nurture our own passions and interests while also investing in the relationship?
Well, I think it starts with recognizing that your partner isn't responsible for your happiness. You are. It's crucial to cultivate a sense of fulfillment and purpose outside of the relationship, whether it's through hobbies, career aspirations, friendships, or personal growth pursuits.
I see what you mean. It's about having your own life, your own sources of joy and inspiration that you can then bring back to the relationship.
Precisely. Think of it like two trees growing side by side.
Okay.
Their roots intertwine, providing support and nourishment, but their branches reach out in different directions, absorbing sunlight and experiencing the world from unique perspectives.
I love that analogy. It beautifully captures that idea of both connection and independence.
It's about recognizing that your individual growth actually enhances the relationship.
Okay.
When you're pursuing your passions and feeling fulfilled as an individual, you bring more energy, enthusiasm, and new experiences to the partnership.
Yeah, prevents things from becoming stagnant.
Right.
Like if you're both constantly growing and evolving, it keeps things interesting and dynamic.
Yeah. Exactly. And it also allows you to appreciate and respect your partner's individuality. When you see them pursuing their own dreams and interests, it deepens your admiration and strengthens your connection.
This makes me think about all the things I gave up when I first got into my relationship.
Yeah.
Things that used to bring me joy. It feels like it's time to reclaim some of that space for myself.
That's wonderful to hear. Remember, it's never too late to reconnect with your passions or discover new ones.
Right.
And your partner, if they truly care about your happiness, will support you in this journey.
That makes sense, but let's be honest. Even when you have a strong foundation and you're both nurturing your individual selves, there's still the challenge of keeping that romantic spark alive. How do you prevent things from becoming too routine and predictable?
That's a common concern, and it's important to be proactive about keeping the romance alive.
Right.
You know, it's easy to fall into a comfortable routine, but a little bit of effort can go a long way in keeping things exciting and passionate.
So it's about breaking out of that routine, injecting some novelty and surprise into the relationship.
Exactly. It doesn't have to be grand gestures or elaborate vacations. It's often the small everyday moments that make the biggest difference.
Okay, can you give us some examples? What are some things couples can do to keep the romance alive?
One of the simplest things is to prioritize quality time together.
Okay.
And I don't just mean sitting on the couch watching TV.
Right.
I mean truly connecting, engaging in conversations, sharing experiences, and making each other feel seen and heard.
So it's about being present and intentional with your time together.
Yes.
Even if it's just for a short while.
Exactly. Put away your phones, turn off the distractions, and truly focus on each other. Make eye contact, listen attentively, and engage in meaningful conversation.
Yeah.
Remember, intimacy is built in the small moments.
That's a great reminder. It's easy to get caught up in the busyness of life and forget to create those moments of connection.
Absolutely. Another way to keep things interesting is to try new things together. Okay. It could be anything from exploring a new part of your city to taking a cooking class or learning a new dance.
Yeah.
The key is to step outside of your comfort zone and create shared experiences that bring excitement and novelty.
I love that idea. It's about injecting a little bit of adventure and playfulness into the relationship.
Exactly. And it doesn't have to be expensive or time-consuming.
Yeah.
Even small adventures like trying a new restaurant or taking a different route on your evening walk can spark conversation and create lasting memories.
It's about breaking out of the rut and reminding yourselves why you fell in love in the first place.
Precisely. And don't underestimate the power of physical touch. Affectionate gestures like holding hands, cuddling, and kissing release oxytocin, the bonding hormone which strengthens your emotional connection and creates a sense of closeness and intimacy.
Those little moments of physical touch can be so powerful.
Yeah.
It's like a silent language of love and connection.
Exactly. Make it a habit to hug your partner hello and goodbye, hold hands while walking, or simply give them a loving touch as you pass by.
Yeah.
These small gestures go a long way in keeping the romance alive.
This has been so helpful. It's inspiring to think about all the ways we can actively nurture our relationships and keep that spark alive.
Remember, relationships are a journey, not a destination.
Right.
They require ongoing effort, communication, and a shared commitment to growth. But with intention and a little bit of creativity, you can build a love that is both passionate and enduring.
And we haven't even touched upon the importance of expressing appreciation and gratitude for each other.
Ah, yes, that's crucial. It's easy to take our partners for granted, especially when we've been together for a while, but expressing gratitude is like a love vitamin. It nourishes the relationship and keeps it strong.
So what are some ways to express gratitude in a relationship?
It can be as simple as saying thank you for the little things, like making coffee or taking out the trash.
Okay.
It's about noticing and acknowledging the efforts your partner makes, both big and small.
It's about making them feel seen and appreciated.
Exactly. You can also leave little notes of appreciation, send a thoughtful text message, or simply tell your partner how much you love and appreciate them.
Yeah, those small gestures can make such a big difference.
They do.
It's like a deposit into the emotional bank account of the relationship.
I love that analogy, and it's important to be specific with your compliments and expressions of gratitude. Instead of just saying, "You're great,"
Right.
tell your partner what you admire about them, what qualities you appreciate, or what specific actions made you feel loved.
So it's about going beyond the generic and really making an effort to understand and acknowledge what makes your partner special.
Exactly. When you express genuine appreciation and gratitude, it creates a positive feedback loop in the relationship. It makes both partners feel loved, valued, and more inclined to do kind things for each other.
It's like a recipe for a happy and fulfilling relationship.
Indeed, gratitude is a powerful ingredient that can transform any relationship.
This has been such an enriching conversation. I'm starting to see how much intentionality and effort go into creating a truly thriving relationship. It's not something that just happens. It's something we actively build and nurture every day.
You've hit the nail on the head. Relationships require ongoing care and attention, but the rewards are immeasurable.
Right.
When you invest in your relationship, you're investing in your own happiness and well-being.
It's amazing how many layers there are to building a strong and fulfilling relationship.
Yeah.
We've talked about the importance of trust, respect, communication, navigating conflict, nurturing individuality, and keeping the spark alive.
Right.
But there's one more piece of the puzzle I think that's crucial, and that's forgiveness.
Yes, forgiveness is often overlooked, but it's an essential ingredient for long-term relationship success.
Yeah.
You know, no matter how compatible you are or how much you love each other, mistakes will happen.
Right.
Hurtful words will be spoken, disappointments will arise, and moments of imperfection will inevitably occur.
It's like that saying, to err is human, to forgive divine. But forgiveness can be incredibly challenging,
It is.
especially when you've been deeply hurt.
Yes.
How do we even begin to forgive someone, especially when it feels like they've truly wronged us?
You know, I think it starts with understanding that forgiveness is not about condoning the behavior or pretending it didn't happen. It's
Yeah.
not about letting the other person off the hook or saying that what they did was okay.
Right.
Forgiveness is about releasing yourself from the grip of anger, resentment, and bitterness. It's about choosing to let go of the pain so that you can move forward, both individually and as a couple.
So it's more about your own healing than it is about the other person.
Exactly. Forgiveness is a gift you give yourself.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing that holding on to anger and resentment is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die.
Right.
It only hurts you in the end.
That's such a powerful way to put it, but how do we actually do it? How do we move from feeling hurt and angry to a place of forgiveness?
Well, it's a process, and it takes time.
Mm-hmm.
There's no magic formula or quick fix, but here are a few things that can help.
Okay.
First, acknowledge and validate your own feelings. It's okay to feel hurt, angry, or betrayed.
Yeah.
Don't try to suppress or minimize your emotions.
So it's about allowing ourselves to feel the pain without judgment.
Exactly. Once you've acknowledged your feelings, try to shift your perspective.
Yeah.
This doesn't mean excusing the behavior, but it does mean trying to understand the other person's perspective. Maybe they were acting out of their own pain, insecurity, or past trauma.
It's about trying to see the situation through their eyes, even if you don't agree with their actions.
Exactly. And remember, we all make mistakes. We've all done things we regret, said things we wish we could take back.
Mm-hmm.
Offering compassion to your partner, recognizing their humanity and their capacity for growth, can help soften your heart and make forgiveness feel more attainable.
That makes sense, but what about when the hurt feels too deep,
Yeah.
too overwhelming to simply let go? Is it ever okay to seek outside help?
Absolutely. Sometimes we need professional guidance to navigate the complex terrain of forgiveness.
Right.
A therapist can provide a safe and supportive space to process your emotions, explore the root of the hurt, and develop strategies for moving forward.
It's like having an emotional coach, someone to guide you through the process.
Exactly. And remember, forgiveness is not a one-time event. It's an ongoing practice.
Yeah.
There may be times when the pain resurfaces, when old wounds reopen, and that's okay.
Right.
Be patient with yourself, acknowledge your feelings, and recommit to the process of forgiveness.
This has been such a profound conversation. I feel like I've gained so much valuable insight into the complexities of relationships, from the initial stages of building trust to the ongoing journey of forgiveness and growth.
It's been an absolute pleasure exploring these concepts with you.
Yeah.
Remember, building and maintaining fulfilling relationships requires effort, intention, and a willingness to embrace both the joys and challenges that come with loving another human being. But the rewards are immeasurable.
Well said. And to our listeners, thank you for joining us on this episode of QuickSpeak.
Yes.
We hope you found this conversation helpful and insightful. If you'd like to hear more discussions on relationships or any other topic that interests you, be sure to subscribe to our channel and leave a comment, letting us know what you'd like us to talk about next.
We love hearing from you and learning about the topics that matter most to our amazing community.
Until next time, keep those conversations flowing and those connections strong.